Yes, right. Okay. One particular intersection in our that there's two buses there. They moved. But Ms. Saunders that was there stated that there has to be a speed bump in 6 feet where they removed. It's yards, about 50 yards down. Right. So she's here and she's on contact. That was last month.
Can everybody come over, please? Excuse me, Councilman. We got a chance to pick up early. Really appreciate it, bro. This
Yes. Are you okay? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I got the idea.
Would you like to speak today, or are you just here to listen?
Yeah, she's going to give us some numbers. Yes,
All right, it's 6:32, so we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Just so you know, we
being live broadcast, and the video will be on YouTube. There, so our guests, don't curse and stuff like that, because you'll be online. Reverend, will you lead us in prayer?
Ma'am, before we go into prayer, keep the Maxwell family in prayer. We lost Miss Maxwell.
Okay, Lord, we thank you for another meeting. We come together tonight, love, community. Yes, we let everyone here in love come together. In Jesus' name, we pray.
All right, we're going to start off with our guest speakers.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, honored to be here tonight. I want to thank everybody that's involved with the Homeowners Association, because these neighborhood groups have really are the basic building block of a successful city. So, the fact that y'all are engaged, involved, and talking to each other and working on solving problems is critical to Jackson's success. So I really appreciate everybody's involvement and a chance, the opportunity to be here and visit with you. I don't have a lot of comments. I can bring you up and talk about a few things, but the main thing I want to do is listen to what suggestions y'all have, questions you have. I can answer some of those. We're here, in the third week of September now, so it's only about 10 days left in the fiscal year for the city. It's been a challenging year, as all the years have been since I've been on the city council about 3.5 years ago. And this one was no exception. We had budget issues. We've got challenges with water billing is a big challenge. They were dealing with trying to get the water bill straightened out after making the transition to more sophisticated, complex water meters about 3 years ago. Hopefully, we're making some progress. Hopefully, we'll make a lot of progress in the next month or two and be back to a position where we're bringing the money in that we need to make ends meet and to meet our budget. We may have seen the news at the end of last week that the rating agency, Moody's, that is a national agency that oversees ratings on both corporate and municipal bonds, downgraded Jackson's municipal bonds, particularly those that have to do with water sewer, by 2 notches, which is it's a warning signal to us, a yellow flag, and we got to make sure we pay attention to the business at hand and find solutions for why we're coming up short on our water bill collections. But anyway, so that was probably the biggest thing that's sort of hanging over our head right now. We hope to have this addressed. The mayor, Mr. Miller, the head of Public Works, he gave him full responsibility back in, I guess it was March, to get this situation straightened out. So we had to go down and make some changes in the staff down at the water billing department, which is over in the old Metro Center. And they have some corrections. I hope if y'all have the water bill issue, please let me know, and they'd be glad to put it into the system, see if we can get it addressed. One thing I forgot to do was I forgot to introduce my deputy city clerk, April Rigsby, and she is a really boon. Been a great asset to me, because we were out for about 6 months. I didn't have a deputy city clerk, but it really helps out in addressing particularly individual constituent problems that come up, and she's really responsive and does a great job of that. The number, if you need to reach my office, I think it's going to be more responsive if you call her on the city council line, and that number is 601-960-2051. So if you've got an issue, whatever it might be, whether it's pothole or water billing, or you got something you want to bring to our attention, please call us at that number, and we'll try to be as responsive as possible and try to get back to you. Sometimes we don't have the answer right away, so we may have to go to a particular department in the city and get some feedback there. But having said all that about the water billing, I do think we're making strides in fixing the water billing situation. We had gone from having about 16,000 to 18,000 people that were not getting payments from down to about 5,000. So that's improved a lot. We still have to make sure we have to, close all the loose ends, and hopefully we'll be in better financial shape 6 months, 8 to 12 months from now because of that. Other issues, I know there's other issues that we face. We've got road and infrastructure issues, sewer issues. We've got some areas of the city that have severe issues with flooding and drainage issues. Once they're close to creeks, like the White Oak Creek that comes right under the interstate over there by the Central Hospital. It causes, when we have heavy rains, there's severe erosion and flooding there. We're going to continue to work on those. A lot of that needs funding to fund the improvements that are needed. Sinkholes is another big issue that is hit on the south end of Ridgewood Road. And it's probably the worst sinkhole in the whole city down by Lee Drive, which is just half south of Lakeland Drive there. It's a really severe sinkhole. So sinkholes are another issue that the city's trying to deal with right now, in addition to the other things. But rather than me just going on about different things we're dealing with, I'd like to open that question and see if there's any feedback I can give you all that would be valuable to you.
Before we have the body speak, Ken has
Sure.
prepared.
Right,
Right,
so
okay.
to address the body, we have drafted questions that we're going to allow Mr. Foote to respond to only. So any question that you have that you may feel like that's not in here, you all can forward it to us, and then we'll contact his office. But due to our agreement, his time and the timing of our general meeting, we're going to ask these questions on, and the responses will be written down, and you can allow him to expound on his position on it. So we're going to go, the first is not necessarily a question, but it's a statement, and it's about infrastructure concern.
Okay.
RPNA would like for Mr. Foote to visit the corner of Medallion and Greenbrier Street, where the street has become uneven, causing a dip to occur in the street that has worsened.
That's the corner of Medallion and
Medallion Drive and Greenbrier Street. Right. The members are concerned that there could be a severe underlying issue that requires attention of our Public Works Department. The primary concern is severe underlying foundation issue that could be detrimental to homes. There has been an orange cone placed at this location. However, there hasn't been any construction implemented to correct the discrepancy.
a copy of all the, I don't.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
But anyway,
Yes.
but I want to hear them all, but I just,
Yes.
so in case I miss anything.
Right.
Okay.
So the second one is a question. Actually, it's through research, RPNA have confirmed that Virginia College will likely be closed in August 2019, according to an article on the WAPT website newscast. This will make the second location that is closed that our association has used to hold monthly meetings. According to the city's constituent manager, Ms. Saunders, there are funds available to aid our association in acquiring an existing property which could be constructed into a community center or a meeting destination. Would you support this association efforts in any way you think you can assist to acquire those funds if possible?
Be glad to support the association in whatever way I can. As to funds available, one thing is going to be on, there are going to be tight conditions over funds in the city right now just because of the financial challenges we face. But as far as getting a venue to have meetings, is that your primary objective?
Right. So our primary objective is that the prior two locations have closed, which left us without a location. So we would like to acquire something that we can say that will be permanent and concrete for either Northeast Jackson or this association in particular. Okay.
Well, the one thing I can't answer there is as to the availability of funds to actually say purchase a location. I'd have to talk with my fellow council members on, because there's a priority list of needs for the money. Right. But I certainly will work with you to come up with a venue one way or the other so that you have a place to meet. That it's a shame that this is going to close down. I wonder what the owner of the building has for this facility. Anyway, we can work on that. We'll come up with a solution for you.
Great. Right. All right. Number 3 is transparency. The street corner project that impacted several streets throughout Northeast Jackson raised concerns. There was supposed to be a public holding prior to the discussion of the proposed locations prior to a conclusion be drawn. At this time, there aren't any records that suggest that public holding ever occurred. In the future, if you become aware of such holdings, would you inform this of your ward?
Okay, there's supposed to be a public holding?
Right, to discuss the
A hearing, like a hearing?
Hearing, right.
Okay.
And if I may,
I'm sorry that if there wasn't a public hearing, I wasn't aware of that effort, but we'll certainly work with you to, in the future, to make sure that there's public hearings. We can have it downtown at City Hall if you want to, right? Or we can have it, we can find a venue out here in this area, it's easier for people to get to.
right, so to expound briefly on that, particularly the street calming project, which raised concerns about the removal of stop signs and implementation of speed bumps. However, at the corner, at the intersection of Medallion and Plantation Boulevard, there has been 2 stop signs removed. It's a concern for us primarily because we've had drag races on that street, right? In addition, we have had a hit and run in that area several years ago. Now, I'm not sure that Creek and Plantation is ideal because there is a large speed bump directly where the stop sign was. It's the exact opposite of the intersection of Medallion and Plantation. We have reached out to several offices, public works, but we haven't received an authentic response of what their goals are. Right? And actually an unprofessional response from some of the departments. But our concern is if you're going to decide to move something in our community, we think we should be informed about it, right? If there's supposed to be a public holding, we need to be there to either agree or disagree with the proposed location. We do understand that there is a committee that has been established that Ms. Saunders sits on, and she confirmed at the last meeting that there wasn't a public holding, right? So if you become aware of those type of holdings.
Well, let me make a comment on this. The traffic engineer for the city is Robert Lee. And, so a lot of these things, anything that has to do with speed bumps versus traffic signs, well, usually it centers around him. So what we ought to do is a meeting and have him come to the meeting.
Right, we've spoken with him on several occasions, right?
All right, did you satisfied?
Well, I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't satisfied.
You're not the only one satisfied.
Well, understandably so, but not just so as the action, but the reaction, right? So that's my position on it, because we have members contacted saying, what's going on with the stop sign? Okay, if they're going to remove them, what are they going to put there in place? Now, they have grinded streets in a certain area. There's nothing been implemented there to decrease. And I can tell you firsthand, I stay at the corner right there, and those cars don't stop.
This is at Plantation and...
This is at the intersection of Medallion and Plantation Boulevard. We have a Smilo Prep meets on one side and JPS on the other side in the morning. There's nowhere for them to stop. So they're not going to decrease their speed unless they're forced.
Okay.
All right, number 4, in reference to the interlocal agreement to pay 59 streets throughout the city of Jackson, do you believe Ward 1 benefited from the agreement?
Yeah, I think so. I don't have a number on how many streets got okayed for that, but this really came about. It was a lot of wrangling back and forth, political wrangling back and forth, and Robert Graham, the supervisor, worked hard on getting these available to the city, and then the 1 cent sales tax commission had loaned some money to the water billing department, and they told the city that we're not going to let you have this loaned money unless you do these interlocal agreements with the county. That forced the hand of the administration to sign these interlocal agreements. So that's really good news, I think, for a lot of streets getting fixed. Now, I don't know the list of all the streets, but I feel pretty good that Ward 1 probably got its fair share of that. But I can go back and look at the list and see for sure. But the good news is that there's a number of things that have happened in the past 90 days that are to help free up money to go for not only streets, but also the roads and bridges that need repair. We got some things that happened at the state legislature they finally broke loose, freed up a lot of money that's going to go across the state, but it's going to include Hines County and Jackson. And then we have these interlocal agreements on these streets.
All right, thank you. Number 5, last year in September 2017, the City Council approved a 2 mil increase of property taxes from 61.0 to 63.03, which generated about $2.3 million for the city to address budget concerns. The City of Jackson mills doubled, some instances that of the cities adjacent to Jackson. Homeowners often acquire the expense when budgets aren't balanced conservatively. Did you support the millage increase in 2017? Do you think that is likely to occur again?
Well, it didn't occur this year. I was against the tax increase because I just think we've got to live within our means. And like you said, citizens, they work hard and balance their budget, and the city shouldn't just turn around and just tax people because they can't figure out to balance their budget. As we didn't increase the millage this year, I wish we'd be able to cut the tax. Right now, we just got too many odds and ends that need to be straightened out. For instance, water billing is the biggest headache that's got us, in a tight spot. But I agree that the citizens, the state or the city, the city needs to be prudent and be fiscally responsible, and they can get the most bang for their buck and not asking citizens for more money just because they can get their budget together.
I agree. Okay, we're going to move on to number 6, which is the final question. With the recent loss of Sam's Clubs, Academy Sports, Best Buy, and Toys R Us in your report, citizens are spending revenue in other cities. Do you believe Ward 1 has lost its appeal to businesses investing in remaining in this ward?
No, I don't think we lost our appeal. It's unfortunate these ones you cite here that have moved out. Most of them have moved out towards the Madison area, and we've also lost some car dealerships as an addition, which is a real kick in the seat. There are some good things going on in Jackson that are constructive. We've got the only Whole Foods in the state that moved in here 3 or 4 years ago. We've got the district that just opened up and brought a lot of jobs and some commerce there. We need to find people to move into some of these spaces like the Academy Sports that is back there in the Plum Creek. That shopping center. One of the disadvantages for that shopping center is just it's hard to get to because of the way the traffic has worked out. So some of those things are sort of specific problems, the way the design and the traffic flow is in some of those spots. But this is an ongoing priority that the city needs to focus on in getting new businesses, not only to replace ones that are leaving, but to get additional new businesses that are coming in. We've got a number of hotels that have opened up in the past 12 months, which is encouraging. That helps tax revenues and all. And one of the things that the state did in this special session they just finished, all the municipalities had suffered from the amount of shopping that's gone online, where people are shopping online. And so what the state has been doing is collecting it as a use tax. I think it's it's like $300 million now a year or so, but they hadn't been giving it to us as sales tax. They've been using it, letting it build up there and just going into the general fund. So a lot of municipalities have been complaining, hey, this is not fair. You're getting sales tax. It's being charged as sales tax, but we're not getting our usual 18% of it. Well, when they had a special session, they did decide to turn over, I think it was 18% of that use tax into, I don't think it's not specifically into sales tax, but it's into roads and infrastructure funding for cities and municipalities. So we'll be getting some of that money. But in the meantime, we need to work hard to bring in new businesses and be attractive to businesses so we can continue to generate the sales tax, the old brick and mortar sales tax.
Okay.
You can let me know that again.
Right. So if you all have any other questions, decide we'll discuss with our councilman for you all forward into this, and we'll get into this.
Right, if you want to email it to us, and we'll get back with it. But this is great, it's very helpful for us, and we'll certainly get with the particular people in the administration, like Robert Lee and others that are on Mr. Miller, the head of the Public Works Department, and talk specifically with him on these different issues. Very appreciate y'all's organization, appreciate y'all's interest in the city government. My gosh, it's helpful for myself and the other people in the city, for when neighborhood associations get together, organize their thoughts, and can give them over to us in a concise manner like this, so we can take them to the particular departments and try to get specific answers to them. So it's very helpful to me. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to get organized and stay in touch with each other and talk group. And what else? What are the any other questions?
No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, our next speaker will be Ms. Brown with the Judge Priester campaign. Okay.
Thank you. And thank you for letting me come this evening and have a chance to address the body. Appreciate it. My name is Penny Brown, and I'm an attorney. I'm a resident of Jackson, Mississippi, lifelong. Grew up, went to Lanier High School, and I am 833 Nation. And I am here this evening representing the campaign to re-elect Judge Melvin Priester as your Hines County Court Judge again. He has been on the bench here in Hines County for over a decade. He's got 13 years of judicial experience. And that means that he's not only been on the Hines County Court, but he's also worked in the municipal court. He's also been a special circuit court judge. And in fact, he was appointed by Mississippi Supreme Court to serve as a special circuit court judge. So we're asking all of the neighbors and all of the friends and relatives and everyone else that we know that if you have any questions at all about Judge Priester, we'll be happy to answer them for you. Many of you are familiar faces here tonight, and I know a lot of people in this area. So you probably have had a chance to vote for him in the past. He was originally elected, he's been re-elected, and we're seeking his re-election again. I have some material tonight, and I'd like to leave that with you. I'm not going to impose on your time during the meeting. I tried to introduce myself to as many of you as I could originally, and I'd like to ask you, please give some thought to his credentials and qualifications that are shown on the back of this material. I'd also like to ask your secretary to include the fact that we came, appeared, and talked to you this evening in your minutes. And I will give you our office campaign telephone number, which is 601-353-2460. If anyone has any questions, or if you need any materials, if you would like us to get in touch with you about, possibly assisting with either transportation for the bus or any other materials, okay. We are happy to help. It doesn't matter. We don't ask you who you're going to vote for. We just want everybody to vote. So if you know of anyone that needs transportation, or if you know of anyone that would like a yard sign for the Priester campaign, or any material for the Priester campaign, we'll be happy to bring that out and provide it. And there is no telephone number on the card, but your secretary has it, and feel free to give it to anybody that needs any assistance. Thank you very much. And if anyone has any questions, by the way, his law firm has been a law firm here in Jackson for over 30 years and is still located in Jackson, Mississippi, and still, excuse me, and still represents many people in this community in a variety of legal matters. Judge Priester himself is not practicing law in the law firm, but he left his footprint. It was founded by him and his wife when they came out of law school. She's a native Jacksonian. They met in college, and when they got married and lived for a while in Texas, came back to Mississippi and made this their home. They have 2 children. Son Melvin Priester is on city council. This is his father. We're asking you to please continue to support Melvin Priester for Hines County Court Judge. Anyone that did not get information, I'll be happy to leave it here with you. Feel free to pass it out. Give us a call if there's anything at all that we can do.
Thank you.
And by the way, when I excuse myself from the meeting in a little while, it's not because I'm not interested, it's just that I have another meeting here, and that one starts at 7:30.
Lieutenant,
I'm
Sanders.
sorry, Penny Brown. Penny, oh, I thought that's my name, okay.
Lieutenant Sanders Thatcher, JPS. Not JPD.
Good evening. The felony crimes for the reporting period of September 10th to September 6th, 2018 are as follows. There were 11 auto burglaries, 8 auto thefts, 1 business burglary, 4 house burglaries, 4 aggravated. I'm sorry, I started on.
Hold up.
11 auto burglaries, 8 auto thefts, 1 business burglary, 4 house burglaries, 4 aggravated assaults, and 1 homicide.
And this represents Ward 1.
Yeah, this,
No,
no,
Precinct 4.
yes.
Precinct 4. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so.
Precinct 4.
Precinct 4.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to move right along. It's 7 o'clock, so we're going to move as quickly as we can through the rest of this. Do we have any new members tonight? Okay. So if we're going to move on to the recap of the last meeting and correspondence. Stella?
Everybody have a copy of the minutes. RPNA minutes, August 21st, 2018. 6:33 meeting called to order by President Lawrence Raven. Prayer, Reverend Clayton. Guest speakers, Virginia College President Milton Anderson was presented an appreciation certificate from the Ridgewood Park Neighborhood Association. JPD Commander Keith Freeman presented a handout about secure home, car, and belongings. New JPD Deputy Chief Tiny Harris states he is committed, knock and talk, decreasing gun violence and youth crimes. Addressed member concern about gunshots heard behind Atkins during the hours of 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. Repeat offenders getting out on the streets. Ken gave kudos to the JPD for a job well done. City of Jackson, Keisha Sanders spoke about the street pavement plans, interlocal agreement between the county and the city. September 15th, Mind, Body, and Soul, 8 a.m., 5K, 10 to 12 at the Convention Center. September 22nd, citywide spades contest at Grove Park. All proceeds to benefit the youth programs. New members, none. Recap of meeting, Stella Harris, motion accepted. Financial report, Larry Little, $6,274.89. Motion accepted. Ridgewood Park Neighborhood Association dues, $30 semi-annually, $60 annually. Old business, RPNA, searching for a secretary. Daughter of the month, Mrs. Porter Ross of 1207 Greenbrier. New business, Mackin will provide music for the night out, night out on October 2nd, 2018 at Office House, 1123 Winrow Street from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The Christmas party on one of the following dates, December 8th or the 15th or the 7th. Proposed hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, and soda for the National Night Out provided by Ridgewood Park Neighborhood Association, tabled until the September meeting. August birthdays, Ken on the 2nd, Mackie on the 10th, Leslie on the 12th, Keisha on the 27th, Sarah on the 24th, Charlie on the 12th, Lawrence on the 28th. President remarks, neighborhood cleanup, take little steps in the right direction. Vice President remarks during Ridgewood Park Neighborhood Association review, house on Winrows has been cut, house on Plantation, owner removed building materials from streets. Traffic sign needs updating. 30-month plan to be revealed later. Ask Robert Lee to reassess Plantation and Medallion stop signs. that were recently removed. Sick and shut in and bereavements, Mr. Simon Butler is in the hospital. Moments of reflection about members of positive encounters since last meeting. Door prizes, 7:30 adjournment in prayer. Reverend Clay respectfully submitted by Stella Anderson, Israel Park Neighborhood Association, acting secretary.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as read? Do I have a second? Second, all right. All in favor? All opposed? All right, the minutes are accepted. Do we have correspondence?
No.
All right, we'll move right along. Larry, what's the financial report, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. And last total was $6,274.89 with a deposit of $385. Total $6,669.89. $25 out of the month. Grand total $6,644.89. $6,644.89. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to accept the financial report as stated? Do I have a- All right, all in favor of accepting the financial report as reported? All opposed? All right, it's accepted. All right, reminder, please pay your RPNA dues, $30 for 6 months, $60 for a year. If they're due, just get some money to Larry. Old business. We're still looking for a secretary, anybody that's interested. Stella needs a break. And if you know anybody that might be interested, and again, like I'm gonna push this every time, it would be great to find somebody, like a younger somebody, this would be a great role to take on, to like get something that looks good on a college resume, that kind of thing. I mean, like a resume on your transcript for college, that kind of thing. So if you know any kids that wanna come in and take over this this position, that'd be great. It's something we can help them with, they won't be overwhelmed. Next, National Night Out food selection. All right, so we thought we had voted on the hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, and soda, but apparently we tabled it. Arthur, do you want to talk about it, or you want me to talk about it? All right, so we looked into the community, what do we call it, the community group? What's the hospitality group? The organization that we built within the organization, like we met, we talked about it, we couldn't find affordable catering for hamburgers. So what we're doing right now is if someone wants to come, we will provide the hamburger patties, but we need someone to cook them. Now you can cook them ahead of time, freeze them, warm them up right before, whatever you want to do, but we need someone to volunteer to come and actually prepare the hamburgers. We're not going to do a cover dish. So there's no, like, you don't have to prepare anything else. It's not like we're asking double duty of anybody. But if we don't have anybody that wants to come in and make the hamburgers, then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have hot dogs. And we'll have hot dogs, chips, and soda, potato salad, that kind of thing. But it'll all be provided by the organization. Since we didn't vote on it though, we need to take a vote right fast. Okay, so I'm gonna open it up. Y'all have to put forth a motion to do that. Yes.
How many hamburgers we talking about? Anybody have a number? What do you think, Seth?
What, hamburgers? It was more people than last year. It's not probably about, I would say, I mean, we have kids don't come from everywhere.
Well, I would like to say this, Mr. President, when I brought the idea up, it was to be something outside cooking and getting off the grill and eating. I didn't have an idea of somebody cooking ahead of time and freezing and all that stuff.
Well,
So that was just my idea, was having the smell, the aroma, but it looked like we can get nobody to cook. So since we can't.
well, also the other issue is, do we have someone with a pit that can do like 20, 40, 50 hamburgers at a time so that you don't have 100 people out there with hamburgers? You know, if we wanted to cook them right then, it takes a good bit to get a hamburger cooked unless you pre-cook them and then just warm them up on the grill. But you wanted to say something?
I would, somebody help me. I would.
You got a grill?
I have one, but.
You know me, I take them to the job and cook all 100.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't have a grill there.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying, get them high and they come off the grill.
But that's the other thing, like if we can pre-cook them, just
You
get like,
you don't want to pre-cook.
I mean, like
You're gonna buy burgers, you don't want to pre-cook them because they already pretty much cooked, Lawrence.
oh, okay.
It's not like you buying ground beef and.
Well, that's what I was thinking, we buy ground beef patties.
Oh,
No, you don't buy already.
Oh, okay, well,
So it wouldn't take but a good 5 minutes, flip, flop, flop,
Mhm.
and they off the grill.
all right, well, if that's
But
what,
the thing of it is, what he's asking, is anybody willing to step to the plate?
I would help. I was saying, I would help.
y'all
I'll
wanna-
do it.
Okay,
if she do it and he help, that's 2 people, and you know, I'm gonna be talking.
all right.
I put my grills down there.
Y'all will get with Arthur, exchange information, because you'll be in charge of picking up the food for them to cook, right? Like that's, okay, so he'll be going to Sam's to pick up stuff to cook. So if y'all exchange information after the meeting, that way, y'all can get that all figured out, I'm leaving it in y'all's hands then. Cool? All right, so, we haven't voted on it yet, but we have volunteers to cook the hamburgers, we're gonna boil the hot dog, we're gonna have the potato salad, chips, drinks, and whatever bought. So, do I have a motion to have the association provide the food for the National Night Out? Or do y'all want to keep a cover dish? Everybody's in motion. Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
A second? All right. All in favor of the association providing hamburgers and hot dogs, chips, potato salad, drinks at the National Night Out? Can I get an aye? All opposed? All right, then it passes. And guys, like, sometimes I get the feeling standing up here that the ayes are kind of like, I just don't want to say anything else. So that's cool. But if you actually have a legitimate reason that you don't want to do it, don't feel like you got to go with the group. We need to know, we talked about this during the meeting, we got to know what people want. And like these votes are a big way we find out what people want. They ain't no judgment for some nays. Like, you know, we've had them before. No one like lynches or like gets a pitchfork out with fire. Like they don't agree with us. You know, so you gotta be willing to say nay so that we know what people want. I just wanted to put that out there because I feed off people's energy, and a lot of the times I get nay.
We didn't get no nays.
No nays.
Oh, well, we good then.
Yeah, I'll never get any nays. So.
I like them nays.
Oh, it's good, but I don't want hurt feelings in silence. That's what I'm trying to avoid. All right, so.
Yeah, the potatoes, he said, where the potatoes stand coming from?
Sam's, everything.
Sam's.
Yeah, we're just gonna go buy everything and have it all prepared. People come out, relax. That's
That's
what
what I'm
we're
talking
going.
about.
If you wanna come help, you're welcome.
Relax.
Okay. Oh, and if anybody wants to bring desserts, was one thing we talked about. If anybody wants to bring a dessert, they're welcome, but we're not providing desserts. Is that what I remember talking about? So.
We said, if you wanna bring a cake.
If you wanna bring a cake, you're welcome to. Don't feel like you need to. We'll have the food there. But like someone that can relax at home and wants to do something for us, you know, a dessert would be nice. Cool. All right, next up, Christmas party date. Do we have a date for the Christmas party?
December 1st. We said December 1st. That was on the date, December 1st. Was that a reason for not December?
No, we had a December 1st, and if we couldn't, we had other dates, I believe is what it was.
No, we didn't. Yeah, the reason we didn't do December 1st because that's my birthday. But that's on the day we had.
All right,
So go with December 1st. We gotta go with it. We just gotta go with it.
all right, so December 1st is gonna be, is the date the building's available? Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Okay, so,
Same place.
so December 1st is gonna be our holiday party. Any like strenuous objections to that? Speak now or forever hold your peace kind of thing. All right. Well, all right. Sorry. All right. So we'll all sing happy birthday to Stella at the Christmas party.
Yeah,
We gotta
we're not.
remember that. Stella's birthday on the 1st. So
I'm gonna set the 30th, that weekend.
Okay. So, all right. So Christmas. 30th, yeah. All right, let's see what's next. New business. Okay, we were gonna take that until next meeting though, but we already talked about it a little bit,
Yeah,
so.
let me just mention this real quick. Next month, we're gonna have the mayor here for our meeting. So we're gonna ask everyone to please, come as you did tonight. And if you have any questions, please get those to me prior to him coming, because he also has a limit of time that we're gonna, constrain to.
And guys, we got 200 members, or 200 something houses.
197.
Yeah, let's get as many people in here as we can. Go out and say, hey, look, next meeting, I don't care if you're for the association, I'm the mayor coming. Let's show him how important our neighborhood is. The more butts we have in seats, the more he's gonna listen to what we got to say. That's just the way that politics works. Because if he comes in here and he sees there's 200 possible voters staring him down while he's saying, oh, I'm not gonna do nothing for your neighborhood. Well, he's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna do everything I can for your neighborhood. If you got 10 people in here like we have at some of our meetings, they'll be like, hi, I'm the mayor. I'm glad I'm here today. Bye. You know, you just head out. So we gotta keep our membership up. This is a beautiful meeting tonight, guys. Thank you all so much for coming. It's very refreshing to see this many bodies in the room. When I walked, I was like, this is much too big for what we have. But I'm happy that we're in a room this large for this.
Somebody like the president of the association that's around us.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we might, like the association did when we went to talk to Ashby Foot, like originally, like we might open up to all associations in our area. I mean, anybody that wants to come and talk, just open it up, or come and listen, not talk, right? Come and listen. And we'll do the same thing where I'll announce right before you come to, I know, look, we have our questions prepared, so we don't want to take up a meeting. But
what have canned meetings that, you know, can't, nobody ask questions, they got to be phoned through?
Well, the thing is, like, the meeting we have an hour for our meeting, and if everybody gets to talk, I mean, if everyone just says whatever's on their mind, meetings tend to go much, much longer. I think that was the main concern. And also, he has other places that our guests have other places to be too. And so it's kind of, ask any question, just let us know. We'll prepare it that way. We can make sure the meeting goes quickly, because our meetings tend to spiral out of control when we open it up. Just everybody just starts talking and bouncing off everybody, and it's great. But not when we have someone that we want to, like,
we want
respect their
someone to
time.
visit us again, right?
Yeah.
So we have to have structure as prior, and there has to be an agenda set forward prior to their entrance. Most of these politicians that come out have complex agendas, and they're only here for a limited amount of time. So the grace is if you get them to get in here after they've gotten elected, right? So when you go to them with your desires, you have to have it written down as we did today. You have to state it and have a firm position on it. And he was for 20 minutes as the agreement stated, and the mayor position is 30 minutes. We're going to adhere to those agreements because we want them to come back. We want them to understand that we have an agenda set forward. We want those things written down. So if we adhere to what we agreed to prior, they're more likely to come back again.
And like also, it keeps us from accidentally succumbing to our feelings and leaping upon them like rabbit wolves, because this happened in the meeting before we had a guest, and suddenly it was like someone asked a question that was a perfectly honest question, but they got asked in such a way that it seemed like an attack, and the guest reacted in such a way. And since we're filming now, we don't want to have a reputation for our business association and that kind of thing, because we have a wide amount of people in here. We have a lot of people who have lots of different opinions, and not everybody's going to agree with everything everybody that stands up here says. And we need to keep it simple, and the best way to do that is to have
the question goes to him, just going to do the question, not going to curl them or change them.
Right. So as I stated prior, if you have a question or concern, you submit that to me prior to me drafting the questions, and then I'll ask that question. I'll format it in a way that it can be clarified. So if you have an issue or concern prior to the next meeting, at least a week prior to it, it will be good for you to forward that question to me, and I'll ask him. So it doesn't necessarily mean it has to come directly from me. It comes from the members, but I'm the one who moderates the discussion.
And to address like what you're asking, see, like you ask a question and you don't want it to be changed such a way that it doesn't actually ask what you're asking. And
not derogatory, not that kind of.
Right.
You got to put you on ask about certain things.
Just make.
I don't mind doing whoever. I would like to be
Well,
respectfully.
We're up here, we're gonna be held accountable to you. As soon as the mayor walks out the door, you can raise your hand and say, yo, the question I wanted to ask was this, it didn't get asked. We need to address this, and then like we can send it off, or we can, I mean, we're voted officials, like if you don't agree with us, you can vote us out of office too. Yeah, elections are coming up.
We can't about nobody.
Yeah, so, anyways, like, that's something like, we'll just, it's not a perfect system, but it's as good as we can get it. And if something has to happen, we are all friends here. We can bring it up after the fact and say, hey, look, the question that I wanted to ask didn't get asked, and I didn't appreciate that. Let's talk about it a second and see what happened that got it cut. Because it might just be like, oh, I didn't realize that's what you wanted to know. I thought you were at, you said potholes, and I thought you were talking about the sinkhole on Windrose, whatever. But I mean, it's just something, we just have to keep the communication open so that we can be as respectful as possible. Is that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
May I ask the officer something? In the morning time when the kids are at the bus stop in Medallion and Plantation, they're standing and sitting too far out in the street and would not move when cars are coming through.
You got that right.
And also at the roundabout, about 2 weeks ago, I was going to work.
On Sand Street?
Yeah, on Plantation, at the roundabout. A school bus came the wrong way, almost hit me head on. And then a car with 3 guys in it came the same way, around the school bus and went zipping up Plantation. So people are not, going around the roundabout like they're supposed to, and detour and taking a shortcut.
We'll address it.
Thank you.
And the one at the end of Windrose, they stand out in the middle of the street too.
In the cul-de-sac. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left before we move on to anything. Let me make sure I got everything I need to do. We got that? Really quickly, Sandra handed me paper when I walked in, and we had talked about this during the board meeting, but just so I can read the headline to you. City considers suspending curbside recycling service to help reduce expenses. And they're considering it right now. It's not a foregone conclusion, but the city is considering getting rid of recycling. And the issue, from what I understand, is that we don't have enough participation. And I walked through our neighborhood, and we have good participation in our neighborhood. I don't know if it's what they're wanting, but we have a lot of people in our neighborhood. So, like, what that says to me is that we have people outside our neighborhood that we need to be excited about it too. So, encourage your neighbors, encourage your neighborhood. We should 100% participation. We don't. We should, because we're all citizens of the world, or whatever you want to call it. But also encourage like friends and family members. Tell them about it. Hey, you live over here in East Jackson. They're getting rid of recycling. We need to fix it. We need to get this out here. It doesn't cost you anything. Just put the plastic bottles in the bin and put it out there. Hey, you live in South. I know you. Do you recycle? Why don't you recycle? Let's recycle. They're taking away the service that is really good for the environment, really good for our city. The landfill is going to get filled up faster if like half the trash we're throwing out starts going in the landfill instead of getting recycled. So we need this for our city. I mean, it costs money. It's going to cost us more on the back end. It's just like it's paying a little bit now and doing a little bit now to not have a bigger cost later on, in like having to find a new landfill and having to a worse environment, whatever. Anyway, so. Recycle. If you need the recycle, what's it called? The schedule. It's online, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's every other Monday, basically. And let me get the list right fast, so you can see. You can recycle paper, magazines, envelopes, all cardboard, phone books, catalogs, clean foil, like the tin that like Mexican food comes in when you get it to go, and like the tin foil used to wrap stuff and cook it. Just clean it off. That can go in there. Large tins, it's like large cans, like for canned food. Metal jar lids, no glass though. So there's no glass in the recycling, which is sad, but that's just the way it is. All plastic bottles and plastic pots, tubs, trays, and bags. So if it's plastic, you can throw it in there. And aerosol cans, like the CFCs or whatever, the stuff that tears up the ozone went away, like we outlawed it, so we don't use it anymore, so it's, the stuff inside it's inert, I guess, so they can recycle, you know, your Febreze can, or your aerosol, whatever you're using to spray out, you can recycle that too. So be sure to put that in recycle. Let's just get as much trash going, getting reused as we can. And I mean, it just makes everything nicer that way. All right, any questions about that?
They replaced that, they replaced it with something else, because before we started recycling, there was places all through the city of Jackson, you could take your recycling material in.
Well, there's still some places like that, but I believe those are independent. It's like, they're not, as far as I know, that's not city run, right? Because like Rainbow Whole Food, Rainbow Co-op had like all the stuff that they could take to live downtown and did recycling. They got those through them.
Highway 80 and University?
Yes.
That's the one there. You see that.
But still, like,
but you had to get that,
it's far more convenient. And if they think not enough people are recycling now, just tell people they got to put all their trash in their car and drive it somewhere and see how many people take part in recycling then. All right, let's see, what's next?
Mr. President, excuse me.
Yes.
If they need one of the recycling bins, just call me. Give me your name, you leave tonight. I'll drive by your house tonight, tomorrow, Friday, Thursday. So if you need one, just let me know. So the recycling is right up front here, the green bins. So if you need one, just let me know.
All right, we're going to move on to Yard of the Month. Let's see. So the Yard of the Month this month is Mr. and Mrs. Segas Reed, 1226 Greenbrier Street.
What's the address?
1226.
Thank you.
Thank you for you. Thanks so much. And you all, this could be you if you keep your yard in pristine condition. So.
Speaking of yards, when you all, I see a lot of people that mow their yard and leave the grass in the street under the pile. And all when it rains, it's gonna wash down in the gutters, and then when the gutter starts flooding, the street starts flooding, you're gonna be complaining. So,
Yeah,
the streets.
And it's actually illegal to put your yard clippings in the street, like, because I've seen people like blowing it. That's technically illegal. I don't know that anybody's gonna call you on it in the neighborhood. A policeman could knock on your door and ticket you, or like not the police, what's it called? The person that's in charge of zoning. Yeah. I mean, it's not highly likely, but it could happen. And it's just like you said, it'll block up for the sake of it blocks up the drain. And we got flooding and
yeah, I've seen
drainage.
roads that they said Fine Creek going bushes in the creek, and I told him.
Yeah, that's
Luckily, he was up the street and said, radio, he came right on in front of him like that.
But anyways, yeah, please, like, every Thursday, they pick up yard trash, you put it out with your, trash, mine's just blank today. The garbage men will pick up your yard trash. So if you got leaves, grass, bushes, you gotta cut them up to a certain length and everything and put it out there, and they'll just pick it up and take it right away. And if you're really nice to them and say hello every once in a while, we'll even do it on Mondays a lot. So I've never had a problem with it, and it's just, it's an easy thing to do rather than throwing it in the creek. They're not here. I don't see them here. So like the teacher, she's not here. So do you want to still announce it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. We had one other reward to hand out. Michael Quarterman, James APAC Theater Chair, won Teacher of the Year 2018. She got it in the last 4 years. She's not here today. Her husband used to live on Winrose. They recently moved out of the neighborhood, but they still own the house and they rent it out, so they're still a part of our neighborhood association. Let's see, what's next? September birthdays. Who has a birthday in September? Raise your hand. Let's just do it this way. That'll be easy. Oh, okay. When's your birthday? September 11th. All right.
September 11th.
You will never forget. All right. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arthur. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
All right, so I think I have spoken enough today, so like my remarks are, thank you all for being here. Make sure people come next month. Acknowledgement, sick, shut-in, and bereavement. We have.
Mr. Drama, back surgery. We talked about that maybe a couple months ago.
Okay.
Mr. Drama on plantation, back surgery, keep him in our prayers. And we lost Miss Maxwell. That was like a grandmama to Sandra. Miss Maxwell lived on Concord in Windrose, the corner of Concord and Windrose. Some people call it the corner of Green Drive in Windrose.
That's just where that just changes.
And so she would be missed. 80, how old? 85, but you think she was 65. She did so much. I remember we used to clean the streets up every year. She called and said, I got my shovel, got my hoe, got my glove. Y'all come by and get me. You know, then we had some people that was able-bodied, 19-year-old, 24-year-old, 34-year-old. Didn't even see those people, but this lady, she's 85 now, am I right? And 5 years back, she walked the street with us. So Miss Maxwell, you will be missed. I love you.
Let's have a moment of silence for her. Okay. We're going to move on to the door prizes, and while Larry gets the door prizes figured out, we'll do our member moments. Okay, so just a reminder, what this is we're going to take 5-10 seconds. If you want to, we're not going to make it a mandatory thing, but if you want to say something positive about the neighborhood, positive about your experience living in the neighborhood, positive about someone you know that's doing something good, just that's what this is for. So does anybody have anything positive they want to share? 5-10 seconds. All right.
Yeah, I want to share. I want to thank Larry Little, the Glenn family, and Miss Ruffner for helping clean up the 11-12 plantation. We got a lot of calls about that home. They came over, Larry rode in on the drive board, and the neighbor and both neighbors, and she actually stated that she was considering moving and selling her home as of this month. And I, ensured that we were going to make sure that we try to keep their property maintained. And that was her main concern, that house only. She said, I was going to sell my house because this house next door, those people were not keeping it up. The grass was grown, the dogs would keep getting out. And I was afraid eventually they were going to come out and start putting in my house when the traffic that was coming over. So, but she had been coming to the meeting because she worked 2 jobs. But I had a chance to talk to her. I told her, we're going to help her out. We'll keep it and maintain. So she said she want to stay there, but she don't want to stay next door to people like that. So there was a positive outlook. She was very excited. She even came out and helped with everything. Got her saw and came out there. So it was real positive.
And just to piggyback on what Ken just said, that's how you end up losing good neighbors. If we hadn't went by there, this lady been there about maybe 4 years, paid $129,000 for her house, maintained just curb appearance and everything. And this lady was thinking about moving. We didn't know that. But the house next to her, that was a new house once upon a time before the mother passed. They used to work there, Bank Plus. Her son, 24-year-old, her daughter, I don't know, 29, 30 years old. They lived in their mother's house, and y'all wouldn't believe it, a brand new house, inside and outside. That house went down less than 6 months. You wouldn't believe it. Next door to the lady that Ken referred to, they were thinking about moving. They had tires and beer bottles, cars on the grass, won't cut the grass, windows broken out.
It was ridiculous when I was from the mama's in the front door.
So good. We went by there and talked to the lady. And she helped us clean the yard, cut the hedges, cut the shrubs, and said she loved the neighborhood, but she was getting ready to go.
Somebody live in the house, Larry, when y'all clean the yard.
Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't.
Cars, that's what I wasn't sure.
They said that's a foreclosure, too much.
Yeah, it's foreclosed. They just, reopened the bid on again. I guess the company gets the bid that they wanted prior, so they reopen it again. They're just basically squats.
Squatters, okay, basically they're squatters, yeah.
It's just the son that's there, and the daughter has moved.
Yeah. Right, the door to hand.
Okay, so it's 7:32. Anybody else got any positive things they want to share?
Well, I'm glad that the house across the street from me, they fixing that bad puppy up. Woo! Lord have mercy, that's so good.
Because all they do, we don't have help tonight. Philip played football now. Matt is not here because he's at the football game with his son. So we can't,
We need a banner.
and so I gotta walk.
Anybody else got anything positive they want to share?
You ain't about to.
I would like to thank you for doing my flower business for me.
I want to thank him.
Anybody else have anything positive?
Lee Freeman.
Put a name under mine. The name up under mine, give it to them.
Okay, yeah.
At least one thing they've done, that they put a little red circle around the potholes.
Uh-huh.
I guess it, they, she working to work on them, I'm assuming.
Right, that's what they're
That's
doing.
what I see.
They,
Right.
they, that's-
At the club.
Hope they do it fast.
Yeah, I have one. On the corner of Medallion and Plantation, they did put a sign up on the stop sign
Yeah.
to let you know that the other traffic is not
No longer
stopping, no longer stopping. So I really did appreciate that.
No.
Right.
We gotta get Philip back in here, man. Come on. Bill Lane.
I'll give her all the. Is that everything?
Mr. Reed. Good night to the police.
He still gonna give you a ticket.
We good, Larry? All right, Reverend, will you, get us out of here with the prayer?
In Jesus'
I didn't feel we're gonna get some help, Right.